Hello, good day everyone. I'm Nawaf G. Kita. This topic is a continuation of the first reporters. So what is operant conditioning? Operant conditioning occurs when an organism's spontaneous activities are either reinforced or punished. Any consequence that increases the likelihood of a response is called reinforcement. Extinction of response occurs when it is no longer rewarded or reinforced. Different schedules of reinforcement produce different patterns of behavior when reinforcement depends on a number of responses. Extinction of a response. Extinction of a response happens when it ceases to be rewarded or reinforced. This leads to a decrease or disappearance of a learned behavior due to the absence of reinforcing stimulus. So let's proceed to the different schedules of reinforcement. The first one is radio schedules. So let's proceed to the different schedule of reinforcement. The first one is ratio schedule. When reinforcement is contingent upon the number of responses, the organism tends to respond more rapidly. For instance, a person on a work ratio schedule may exhibit increased productivity when additional tasks are assigned. The second one is fixed schedules. When reinforcement is contingent on time intervals, the organism tends to take a break after receiving a reward. For example, an employee working on fixed hourly schedule may pause briefly after completing a task. The third one is variable schedules. When reinforcement occurs at irregular intervals, the organism maintains a steady rate of response. For instance, a game that offers reward at unpredictable times may result in sustained active participation due to the uncertain anticipation of rewards. In summary, understanding this different schedule of reinforcement is crucial for comprehending and managing the behavior of an organism. According to operant theory, the most effective approach to teaching a complex skill involves breaking it down into fundamental components and progressively refining it one step at a time. The shaping process consists of two key components. The first one is differential reinforcement. This involves reinforcing certain responses while omitting reinforcement for others. In other words, specific behaviors are rewarded, encouraging their repetition while other behaviors are not reinforced. This selective reinforcement helps guide the learner toward the desired behavior. The second one is successive approximation. In this aspect of shaping, certain responses are reinforced in a step-by-step manner, leading to the gradual attainment of the desired behavior. Each successive approximation represents a small incremental step toward the ultimate target. This successive reinforcement serves as stepping stones, allowing the learner to approach and eventually achieve the overall goal. In summary, operant theory suggests that breaking down a complex skill into manageable parts, using a combination of selective reinforcement and gradual approximation, is an effective method for teaching and shaping behavior. The shaping process uses reinforcement to create new responses out of old ones. This method can be used to teach someone to do something they have never done before by rewarding the person for any action close to the desired response. The shaping process employs reinforcement to develop novel responses from existing ones. These techniques can be utilized to teach an individual to perform a task they have never attempted before by rewarding them to any action that approaches the desired response. In essence, the person is reinforced for exhibiting behaviors that progressively align with the target behavior, ultimately guiding them toward achieving the desired outcome. The next is self is simply a device for representing a functional unified system of responses. Skinner 1953, self-control refers to responses organized around primary reinforcers. In 1953, Skinner asserted that the self is essentially a mechanism for portraying a cohesive system of responses. Self-control, according to Skinner, pertains to responses structured around fundamental reinforcers. Additionally, Skinner contended that terms like social conscience and superego merely represent behavior functioning for the benefit of the community. In other words, this concept denote action that serve the advantage of well-being of the broader social group. So let's talk about evaluation, strengths of Skinner, and weaknesses of Skinner. The first I will discuss is the strengths of Skinner. Behavioral change through reinforcement. Skinner theory provides fundamental principles for altering personality through the manipulation of reinforcement. This approach, known as behavior therapy, has proven highly effective in addressing a range of behaviors, both maladaptive and adaptive. Examples include successful intervention for alcoholism, drug addiction, habits like thumb sucking and nail biting, as well as addressing delinquency and psychotic behavior. The next is application in education. Skinner theory found extensive application in the field of education, program learning, teaching machine, and special education programs for individuals with intellectual disabilities. In autism, all drew from Skinner's principles. This widespread use highlights the adaptability and practicability in his ideas in educational setting. The next is understanding behavior maintenance. Skinner's reinforcement theory significantly contributes to explaining how various human behaviors are sustained in real-world contexts. In emphasizing the role of reinforcement, the theory provides insight into the mechanisms that uphold behaviors in everyday life situations. So let's proceed to weaknesses of Skinner. The first one is limited exploration of personality development. One weakness in Skinner's theory is the absence of thorough examination of personality development. His exclusive focus on external behaviors and environmental factors overlooks the intricate internal processes that contribute to the formation and evolution of personality traits. The second is overemphasis on external environmental influences. Skinner theory places a significant emphasis on external environmental influences, particularly the consequences of one's action as the primary determinants of behavior. This exclusive focus neglects the potential impact of internal factors such as thoughts and emotion, resulting in a somewhat reductionist view of human behavior. The last is rejection of theoretical constructs and internal states. Another weakness lies in Skinner's outright rejection of theoretical constructs, thoughts, and emotion by predominantly concentrating on observable behaviors and environmental conditions. Skinner theory overlooks the intricate interplay of cognitive of or and emotional factors that significantly contribute to human behavior. In summary, Skinner's theory exhibits weaknesses in its limited exploration of personality development, overemphasis on external influences, and the exclusion of internal states and theoretical construct from its explanatory framework. The next is Skinner emphasized the study of overt behavior, wherein he recognized two major categories of behavior. The first one is respondent behavior, which is elicited by a non-stimulus, and the second is operant behavior, which appears to be imitated rather than elicited. Skinner works was mainly on operant behavior, a behavior that can be changed. Skinner placed significant emphasis on the examination of observable behavior, distinguishing between two categories. Primary categories. Respondent behavior, which is triggered by a recognizable stimulus, and operant behavior, which seems to be voluntarily emitted rather than elicited. Skinner's primary focus was on operant behavior, a type of behavior that is subject to modification according to his perspective. That formation of personality is seen as the outcome of an individual's history of reinforcement, suggesting that the pattern of reinforcement experienced throughout one's life shape and influence the development of their personality traits and behavioral tendencies. The next is Skinner's theory more than explain personality. It also specified the principle by which personality can be changed. Skinner's theory not only provide an explanation of personality but also outline the principle by which personality can undergo change. His clinical methodology, known as behavior therapy, has proven successful in addressing a diverse array of issues. Skinner's ideas have also found application in the field of education. A behavior therapy, the focus is on modifying behavior through reinforcement techniques. This approach has been effectively employed in teaching various problems, including maladaptive behavior, addictive tendencies, and psychological disorders by strategically applying reinforcement to encourage desired behavior and discourage undesirable ones. Behavior therapy aligns with Skinner's principle to bring about positive change in individuals. Furthermore, Skinner concepts have been integrated into educational practices, program learning, teaching machine, and special education programs for individuals with learning challenges have all drawn inspiration from Skinner's emphasis on shaping behavior through reinforcement. Their application in both clinical settings and education highlights the versatility and impact of Skinner ideas in practical real-world contexts. The next is Skinner's followers believe that behavior can be directed by controlling the application of reinforcement contingencies, which have special relevance to child rearing practices since parents have considerable control over their child's environment. Skinner's followers subscribe to the belief that behavior can be guided by strategically managing the implementation of reinforcement contingencies. These perspectives hold particular significance in the context of child rearing practices. as parents hold substantial influence over their child environment. The idea is that by utilizing reinforcement rewards or consequences, parents can shape and direct the behavior of their children. The environment created by parents becomes a crucial factor in influencing how a child responds to various situations by consistently applying reinforcement in response to specific behavior. Parents can effectively encourage positive conduct and discourage undesirable action in their children. This concept underscores the role of environment factors and reinforcement in shaping the behavior of individuals, particularly in the crucial formative years of childhood. Next is Skinner strongly favored a reasonable use of reward to improve behavior. One effective use of operant behavioral techniques is the token economy, wherein individuals are given something every time they perform a desired behavior. These methods find widespread use in various settings such as homes for children with special needs, mental hospital, and prisons. In token economy, the tokens earned for positive behavior can later be exchanged for tangible rewards or privileges. This approach this approach leverage the principles of operant conditioning, use reinforcement to encourage and reinforce desirable conduct. The token economy has been particularly successful in environments where consistent and structured behavioral intervention are necessary such as in therapeutic settings and correctional institutions. That's all. Thank you for watching and listening.